Previously on Flames and Frost. A dying prophecy ignited the Grand Council's fear, and fear became law. Fire and ice dragons were driven from the realm beneath a sky net of patrol calls, herded toward the boundary like prey. In the chaos, Asha and Frost ran with their child Cinder, an impossible hatchling born of both elements whose fear could betray him and whose gift could save them. When the secret was exposed, a jade healer named Mira paid for the family's escape with her life, and the hunt became a stampede. Injured and surrounded, Asha, Frost, and Cinder reached the Boundary River and found hundreds more refusing to be taken. Beyond that line, the exiles chose unity over old hatred and marched north into unmapped mountains, surviving storms and predators by trusting the one dragon the rest of the realm chose to fear. They finally found a sheltered basin of steam and stone, a place warm enough to live, strong enough to defend, and they named it the Ashfrost Highlands, honoring the two dragons whose love defied a realm. A century has passed. The Highlands have become a home, and now that home is about to suffer a loss it will never forget. Episode 6. Present Day. The sun rose over the Ashfrost Highlands, casting pale light across the rugged peaks. These mountains were harsh, jagged cliffs, unpredictable weather, land that demanded strength from those who called it home. But the Ashfrost dragons had learned to thrive here. What others saw as desolate, they had made their own. High on a cliff overlooking a crystalline lake, Emberly stirred from sleep. She was a magnificent Ashfrost dragon, her scales shimmering with the same dual nature as the Ashfrosts before her. Along her spine, flames danced in intricate patterns, while frost crystals formed delicate tracery along her wings. Her eyes held the warmth of embers and the clarity of winter skies. She stretched, then froze, listening. The familiar sound of Zephyr's breathing beside her, the soft pulse of life from the nest behind them. All was well.
Still here, still real.
Beside her, Zephyr opened one eye, his larger frame shifting with lazy grace. His scales were darker than Emberly's, deep charcoal shot through with veins of blue fire and white frost.
Are you talking to yourself again?
No, I'm talking to the eggs. They're better listeners than you.
I listen. I just don't always respond.
Also called not listening.
Zephyr chuckled and rose, moving to stand beside her at the nest. 3 eggs rested in the carefully constructed hollow, each one unique, each one perfect. The largest egg sat in the center, deep crimson with veins of ice blue running through it like frozen rivers. Even dormant, it seemed to radiate intensity.
This one kicked again last night. Felt it through the stone.
That's our little warrior.
To the left, a smaller egg, pale silver white marbled with streaks of coral orange. It pulsed with a gentler energy, steady and calm.
And this one will be the peacemaker. I can feel it.
Every family needs one.
The third egg was the most striking. Its surface shifted constantly, flames dancing across the shell one moment, intricate frost patterns the next, never settling, always both.
I've never seen anything like this one.
Neither have I. Should we be concerned?
Different isn't dangerous, Em. We of all dragons should know that.
Emberly touched her snout to each egg in turn, a morning ritual. With each touch, she sent a pulse of warmth and love, feeling the life within respond.
Good morning, little ones. Not long now.
A familiar voice called from below the cliff.
Emberly, may I come up?
Emberly smiled. Elder Cinder, wise, and the closest thing to an uncle she'd ever known. The firstborn son of Asher and Frost themselves.
Of course, Elder.
Cinder's form appeared over the cliff edge, his powerful wings carrying him with practiced ease. His scales shimmered with the distinctive Ashfrost duality, deep crimson threaded with veins of frost blue. Though over a century old, he still moved with strength and purpose.
These cliffs get steeper every year.
Or you get older.
Careful, young one. I've earned the right to complain about cliffs.
Cinder approached the nest, his expression softening.
May I?
Please, of course.
The elder placed his taloned hand gently on each egg, his eyes closing as he extended his senses. The ability to perceive life force was one of the Ashfrost gifts, and Cinder had refined his over the decades.
Healthy, strong, all three.
His hand lingered on the center egg.
This one has fire in its soul, fierce, protective.
We've been calling it our little warrior.
And this one, deep, contemplative, will think 3 times before acting once.
Then his hand reached the shifting egg. Cinder's brow furrowed. He held his touch longer, his expression growing unreadable.
Elder?
Remarkable.
What is it? What's wrong?
Nothing is wrong, but this hatchling. The balance between fire and ice is perfect, absolute. Most of us lean one way or the other, even slightly. But this one,
What does that mean?
it means power. Both elements at full strength, in complete harmony. I was born the same way. This little one will be extraordinary.
And it made you a target.
In those dark days, yes. But we live in different times. Your children will be celebrated, not hunted.
Cinder settled beside them, his gaze drifting out over the valley where other Ashfrost dragons were beginning their day. Below, Crystalline and Torrin practiced aerial maneuvers while their young son watched from a ledge.
My mother, Asha, told me once about the day I hatched. It was kept a secret, so there was no community gathered to celebrate. This time will be different. This community will gather. Fire dragons, ice dragons, Ashfrost dragons. All of them.
How are they, Asha and Frost?
Still strong, though they don't fly as far as they used to. Father's frost breath isn't what it was, and Mother complains about the cold more than she'd ever admit. But they'll want to see these eggs. They always said the greatest joy of their long lives was watching our family grow.
We should bring them to visit before the hatching.
They'd like that. Asha especially. She's been asking about you too.
Tell her we'll come down to the valley soon. I want her blessing before the little ones arrive.
You'll have it. You've built something beautiful here, both of you.
As Cinder departed, Emberly and Zephyr shared a meal in comfortable silence, the warmth of the morning sun settling over the cliff. Below, the valley hummed with life, distant calls, the beat of wings, the faint laughter of hatchlings at play. Zephyr tore a strip of meat and nudged it toward Emberly. She took it without looking, her gaze fixed on the nest.
You're staring again.
I can't help it. Every time I look away, I'm afraid something will change.
I don't think anything is going to change in the next 5 minutes, Em.
You don't know that. What if one of them hatches early? What if the shifting egg does something we've never seen?
Then we'll figure it out. That's what parents do, right?
You say that like you've done this before.
I haven't. That's what makes it exciting.
But are you scared?
Zephyr was quiet for a moment. He set down his food and looked out over the valley, then back at the nest.
Of course I am. To be honest, I'm terrified.
Really? But you never seem to show it.
Well, one of us has to look like they know what they're doing.
And you volunteered?
Someone had to.
The laughter faded into something softer. Emberly leaned against him, her warmth mixing with his.
What kind of parents do you think we'll be?
Imperfect ones. The best kind.
I'm being serious.
So am I. My parents tried to be perfect. Measured every word, controlled every lesson. I spent half my youth trying to live up to something I couldn't even name. I don't want that for them.
So, what do you want for them?
I want them to know they can fail. That they can come to us with the worst thing they've ever done, and we'll still be here. I want them to be braver than I was.
Emberly was quiet for a long moment, her eyes glistening.
You know that little warrior will test every boundary we set. Are you ready for that?
Oh, I'm counting on it.
And the peacemaker will worry about everything. Probably feel everything too deeply as well.
Then we'll just have to teach them that feeling deeply isn't a weakness. It's just a different kind of strength.
And what about that one?
That one? I think that one will teach us.
They sat together in the warmth, watching the eggs pulse with quiet life. 3 futures, 3 mysteries, and 2 parents who had no idea what was coming, but faced it together.
Promise me something.
Anything.
Promise me we'll always do this. Sit together, talk, even when it's hard. Even when they're grown and gone and it's just us again on some cliff somewhere.
I promise.
He pressed his snout to hers. A small gesture, a whole world in it. Their future, their hope. The day progressed peacefully. Emberly tended to the nest while Zephyr reinforced their shelter. Other Ashfrost dragons stopped by throughout the day, offering congratulations and sharing stories. But as afternoon stretched toward evening, something changed. Emberly noticed it first. The air felt heavy, wrong. The usual afternoon breeze had died completely, leaving an unnatural stillness.
Zephyr, what's happening?
I feel it too. Pressure's dropping really fast.
Zephyr moved to the cliff edge, scanning the horizon. Dark clouds were building in the distance, massive towers of black, advancing with unnatural speed.
I've never seen clouds move like that.
Should we move the eggs?
Not yet. Let me check with the others.
He launched himself toward where several Ashfrost dragons had gathered below, all watching the approaching storm. Emberly stayed with the eggs, her maternal instincts refusing to let her leave them. When Zephyr returned, his expression was grave.
Torin's never seen anything like it. He's moving Crystalline and their son to the deep caves on the eastern ridge. Half the valley is already relocating.
Really? Half the valley?
The elders are calling everyone to shelter. Torin said the thermal springs are surging, pressure building underground. If the storm pushes enough water into the vents...
What about the families on the lower terraces?
They're already moving. I saw old Fenrath carrying 2 hatchlings that weren't his. Their mother couldn't fly in this wind. And the ice dragons on the north face are using frost walls to divert runoff away from the nesting caves.
Below, through breaks in the driving rain, The valley had become a hive of desperate activity. Dragons flew in tight formations against the wind, ferrying supplies and young ones to higher ground. On the eastern ridge, Crystalline emerged from a cave mouth, her pale scales whipping in the wind. She called out to a group of juveniles huddled on a ledge below, guiding them upward with sharp, clear commands. Torren appeared behind her, their young son tucked against his chest, and together they ushered the last stragglers inside before Torren sealed the entrance with a wall of frost.
Look, they're all helping each other.
That's what we do.
Then we need to protect what's ours. What do we do?
We need to prepare. Help me reinforce the nest.
Together they worked quickly. Zephyr brought branches and stones, while Emberly used her fire to soften and shape them. Zephyr's frost hardened everything into place, a structure stronger than either element could achieve alone. The temperature plummeted. The warm afternoon turned frigid. The storm clouds now covered half the sky, their darkness absolute.
It's coming fast.
Yeah, that looks too fast.
Thunder rumbled, deep, menacing. The first raindrops fell, fat and heavy. Within moments, gentle rain became a deluge. Emberly curled herself around the eggs. Zephyr positioned himself at the shelter entrance, his larger frame blocking the worst of it. The storm's fury grew. Wind howling, rain coming in sheets so thick they couldn't see the valley below.
It's not stopping.
Lightning split the sky, so close the thunder came simultaneously deafening. In the flash, Emberly saw the valley. The stream had become a raging river, water rising impossibly fast.
The water! Zephyr, look!
But Zephyr was staring upward. Another flash revealed the thermal springs above them, overflowing, sending massive torrents cascading down the mountainside.
We're too low, too exposed.
We can't move them in this. The wind.
It doesn't look like we have a choice.
Zephyr moved to the nest and began lifting the largest egg, the Crimson Warrior.
What are you doing?
We fly, now. 1 egg each, and we'll come back for the third.
In this wind? Zephyr, one gust and...
It's better than staying here and hoping the mountain holds.
Emberly looked at the entrance. The wind was a living thing, howling, shifting, slamming rain sideways with enough force to sting through scales. She thought of the eggs, so fragile despite their strength. One tumble, one drop. That's all it would take.
We can't carry them through that. The wind will rip them from our claws.
Then what? Do we just sit here and wait?
The shelter is holding. You built it strong. If we reinforce the back wall, brace it against the cliff...
The cliff is what I'm worried about, Em. Listen.
They both went still. Beneath the roar of wind and rain, there was something else. A deep, rhythmic groaning. Stone under pressure. The mountain itself was protesting.
How long do we have?
I don't know. Minutes? Hours? I just don't know.
Then we try. We wrap the eggs against our bodies, tight, close to the chest. We fly low under the worst of the wind. The deep caves are only...
A massive gust struck the cliff face. The shelter shuddered. Loose stone rained from above, clattering against their reinforced roof. Emberly threw herself over the nest, shielding the eggs with her body.
Em, are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm okay.
But when the dust cleared, they could see it. A crack running through the shelter ceiling. Thin as a hair, growing.
We're out of time.
Help me. I can only take one egg. We fly together, and we don't let Go!
Together, on the count of 3.
Emberly gathered the pale marbled egg against her chest. Zephyr took the crimson egg and the shifting egg.
Hold on, little ones. Hold on.
1.
The ground trembled. Not thunder, something deeper.
2.
The shaking grew stronger. Rocks and debris began sliding past their shelter. They never reached 3. A deep, grinding roar erupted from above. The thermal springs had burst their banks, sending torrents of water and mud cascading down the mountainside, tearing rock and earth loose as it came. Emberly and Zephyr's eyes met. They both knew. Landslide. The world lurched. The shelter groaned and shifted. Emberly pressed herself against the eggs as the ground bucked beneath them. Zephyr spread his wings, creating a barrier against the avalanche of debris.
Zephyr, watch out!
I've got you. All of you.
But even as he spoke, the cliff face cracked, a sound like breaking bone. The ledge, their home, their nest, their future, was breaking apart. Emberly felt the world drop away. She saw Zephyr's eyes widen. She heard her own scream. And as they fell, as the nest and the eggs tumbled into the chaos below, one thought consumed her.
My babies!
The storm swallowed her voice, and the darkness claimed them all. What happens when a family is torn apart by forces beyond their control? When 3 eggs, 3 destinies, are scattered to the winds? When the Ashfrost dragons face their greatest trial since the exile itself? Find out next time on Flames and Frost.